So, I Know What You Did Last Summer is the creatively titled film based on the film also called I Know What You Did Last Summer. Kind of a red flag. But anyways, after about 30 years going into this movie, I had not very high of expectations. I just wanted some lighthearted fun, some campiness, some silly kills. And unfortunately, this movie really didn't deliver anything I wanted. But as for what the movie's about, it's basically a clone of the first film when it comes to plot. You have another young group of teenagers. They get involved in a car accident. They cause the death of somebody. And because of this, they start getting cryptic notes next year. All before somebody with a hook hand is going to slaughter them all. Hopefully sooner than later, because this cast of characters was garbage. Starting with that, that's the main issue this movie has. This movie suffers drastically from a case of lame characteritis, where you just have a massive group of unlikable characters. From the opening scene, I wanted every one of these people to die a brutal death. I did not like any of them. They are not particularly interesting. They are not well acted. This movie is just a chore to get through because you have a bunch of unlikable characters that you want to see die, and they don't have interesting dialogue or stories or anything that makes them memorable. They talk in this very strange way. It's like forced exposition. I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like all of their conversations was just exposition, explaining their relationships with one another, what's going on in this town. Nobody talked natural, because if they did, this movie would never progress. So they need these characters to straight up spoon feed you a story so that you somewhat get invested. There's one character in particular named Danica, and she is the most unlikable character ever. Like, I know what she's trying to do, what they're trying to do with her character. They're trying to go back to what made the original movies creative. I would never go as far as to say the original I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise was good, but it was campy, it was fun. A lot of people have fun with those films, myself included. And the movies themselves did eventually lead to some great comedic bits in other movies making fun of them.
I didn't see it. It came out of nowhere.
Oh my God, we hit a boat! Where's the foot?
But yeah, what they're trying to do with her character is insert the campiness of those original films into a modern film in 2025. And it's like a lot of the time, it just does not work at all. She must have had like 20 or 25 ongoing bits that I didn't chuckle once. Like every time she was on screen, I prayed to the Lord above, kill this woman. Oh, and she cannot act at all. Like, whatever you say about Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. from the original movies, campy, bad acting, whatever you want to say, this is the worst actress in a horror movie this year. She is downright terrible, unwatchably bad. Which kind of leads me into a mini rant that does relate to this film. I was thinking about this movie. Why do all of these horror requels or sequels, whatever you want to call them, why do modern slashers just not pack the punch? They don't have the oomph of the 80s and the early 2000s. This movie, I feel like, is a great litmus for this, because we are in a serious Scream Queen dilemma where we just do not have the star power to move these movies along. Obviously, this movie had Jennifer Love Hewitt in its prime. The Scream movies have a bunch of famous actors and actresses. Somehow along the line, we have really moved away from getting people who are established, who have a background, people we like and respect as actors and actresses to play in these movies. This is the latest example of a horror film that has no star power whatsoever. The acting, shoddy at best. I would go as far as to say it's very below average. And that being said, somehow all of the most charismatic moments and actors and actresses in this movie are all pushing 50 or older. So that's not good. When you have an entirely up-and-coming cast of actors and actresses that you do not care about at all, and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt easily outdo and outperform them, that's crazy to me. That cannot be happening, and it happens far too consistently in horror. And for Jennifer Love Hewitt to be headlining a movie with a bunch of young adults in 2025 and easily be the biggest baddie on screen, I did not have that on my 2025 bingo card. This movie also has a very wonky pace. It has a high body count. There are a lot of kills, but this movie felt like it moved at a snail's pace for me. You know, I would forgive other things, but I never forgive a movie for boring me. And just legitimately, I was bored during this movie. Somehow this movie manages to be both incredibly generic and incredibly convoluted at the same time. I mean, as the movie's progressing, it's simple enough to understand. You have somebody in a raincoat slicker going around with a hook killing people, but it felt like there were way too many characters in this, way too much convoluted motivation for why these characters are doing this. And it just felt like there was like 15 different subplots so we could inject all of these legacy characters. It just made this movie an absolute slog to get through. And then you do get to the major reveal, and I have massive problems with that as well, because first off, it's incredibly predictable. I was able to predict this movie within the first 5 to 10 minutes. They give you way too many breadcrumbs and make it way too predictable why this would be the case. And then they try to piggyback off of that and add more layers to it, and it just gets even stupider. The explanation behind why it happens, it's incredibly unrealistic. The events that transpired that this person could be involved. So that didn't work for me at all. And it all leads up to this very emotional moment that you're supposed to get some great payoff and you're supposed to really feel something in this movie. Whatever they were going for in terms of emotional payoff at that very ending scene, it did the exact opposite for me, for better or worse. Really, the only thing I kind of liked about this movie was the way they depicted the raincoat killer with his hook for a hand. Very fast paced, strictly down to business. You hear the loudness of his footsteps, very loud sounds when he swings. I thought all of that was depicted very well to add the stakes of him killing, but everything outside of scenes in this movie involved with killing people, I did not care about whatsoever. I was basically asleep with my eyes open. So again, I did not have extreme expectations for this movie, but pretty disappointing because this felt like a layup that again got blocked off the backboard. I don't know how this keeps happening, but for a movie called I Know What You Did Last Summer, based on remembering the events that took place last year, I highly doubt I'm going to remember this movie next week. So if you guys do get around to seeing this one, comment down below, let me know what you think, and did you think this was as big of a chore as I did? As always, like, comment, subscribe, join me down below. Love talking movies with you. It helps the channel. I will see you in the next review.